My work lies within the field of systems biology, which basically means that we stop focusing on single entities, call it gene, protein, cell, whatever, and we start focusing on how these entities interact with each other and what are the properties that emerge from those interactions. In my lab, we particularly are interested in gene regulatory systems, and these are really important because they basically represent the link between the genetic information, the DNA, and the characteristics, the behavior that we mostly care about, for example, health and disease. And we do this through mathematical modeling. We choose mathematical modeling because it's actually a really powerful tool to deal with these complex systems. And it allows us to systematically evaluate the logical implications of our assumptions, to detect the gaps in our knowledge, and ultimately devise new experiments to test our understanding of the systems. So nowadays, the problem that biology as a whole is facing is that from the start, when we were studying or thinking the molecular aspect of life, we did it from an engineering perspective. In other words, we assume the cell behaves as a machine. And the problem with this is that it implies that the cell is this rigid structure with well-defined parts and a step-by-step kind of process, right? And nowadays that we have much better techniques to measure what is happening in the cell, we know for a fact that this cannot be farther away from the truth. Biological processes are inherently dynamic, probabilistic, and also highly context dependent. And basically these observations don't really fit with the idea of the cell as a machine. So what I want to do during my stay here at WICO is to read and reflect about this issue, what people have proposed, and more importantly, the implications of this new interpretative framework, moving away from the machine-like assumption, how these affect the research questions we are doing in the lab, and also thinking of how the mathematical approach that we are using can feed back and help us to build this new interpretative framework.